I'm
Hello,
sorry,
everybody, and welcome.
I didn't think you would start. But now I'm so.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Nadeko Reacts to Nadeko, Ultra Deluxe Prepare to Die Edition. So in this episode, Nadeko will make more Nadeko noises, and Zero will get put to work even more on making compilations of Kiwi being uncomfortable watching this arc. Last time, we got a story time with Kiwi, and that was very eye-opening. Honestly, I hope that Kiwi tries to believe in her theories more, because, well, she literally thinks the same way that Nadeko does. I really believe that Kiwi could just figure out the entire plot of this arc, but she also doubts herself too, so that's just a double-edged sword.
You have too much hope
that
in me.
believes in Zero that believes in you.
Oh,
You guys
hell
have
yeah,
too much
Tengen Toppa
hope
Gurren
for
Lagann.
Look. You guys believe in me too much during this arc. I'm going to disappoint you all, so I won't even try. Here, I say anything.
We're recording this on the day right after we recorded the last episode, so if there are any comments from the previous episode, we won't be able to see them just yet. I'll probably address them in next week's episode, though. I do apologize if my microphone sounds a bit weird. Something's going on with it. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't disturb you, but I'll do my best in post-processing. Anyways, you guys know what to do. Open up your own copy of the episode, sync it up with a timer that's going to appear on top of Kiwi's dong, and let's get right into the show. Don't worry guys, this is not another 20-minute intro. I'm just gonna start the episode in 3, 2, 1, play. These siblings.
Why are both of my best girls so horny?
I wonder why.
It's a bad horny too.
I know, right? Well, I mean, Kiwi's horny is also bad horny too.
I am never horny. Unless it's
Show
a
me a
really
liar.
beautiful man.
Ooh. I just hang my head even lower.
Tsukihi's hair in this is wild.
She just woke up. You can't be the cutest in the show. You're Shinobu.
What's this? I don't want to answer it. That's why I apologize.
Wonder how it feels like to get called out by your own best girl too.
Bad. It feels bad. I feel uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Fire sister time. Oh, she's a vampire. Yep. Yeah, no chance. Directly to the spotlight. It's Koyomi. He's not gonna notice unless you tell him.
No.
He notices everything else, except when somebody's in love with him. It's a good question, actually. This definitely isn't a reference to anything at all.
Mm. Nadeko listen to Tsukihi is like Kiwi watching this arc.
Oh my god, that's actually such a good comparison.
No comment.
You do have the right to remain silent, but it is a reaction. Just to remind you.
It's of pain enough for you.
Guys, I freaking love this opening. I think I forgot to say the last episode how good the ED was. So I'll say it twice this ED.
I see.
You gotta take it off, right? My daily quota. I forgot yesterday's quota. Oh, and here comes Batman. Right on time. Please don't become a tick. Oh.
My two best girls are interacting, but my heart doesn't flutter. I'm not happy about it.
Damn, Koyomi going out with all the girls. Yeah, it was kind of obvious. I do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even in another dimension, they're still the perfect pair for each other.
This is something I would say. Uh, uh,
That's actually a really good comparison. I love this. Like, I don't know what it's written on the wall, but I mean, it's literally written on the wall.
I have never been asked out.
Kiwi considers this a victory. This is how desperate she is now. Yeah, Senjukahara versus Nadeko, there's a very clear winner there. I do agree with Tsukihi's way of thinking, though.
Mm.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare
Old
you?
friends. I ask for your attention.
She looks like Mikan. Nadeko, please. Nadeko, Nadeko.
Aww.
He stole her bags. She can't hide anymore.
Interesting how you noticed that even before we get to the scene. Good work. Yes, good work. Yeah, I can give you cool hair too. Hair unlike anyone else.
Nadeko becomes the next Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't recognize her just because she's shortened her bangs a little?
Apparently so.
What's this man look at when he looks at her? Just her bangs?
I think the teacher means that he's never seen her face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I get to.
Oh.
It sounds like the snake is doing something. Ah.
I love Kana Hanazawa. Not my favorite VA, but her voice acting is incredible. Changing Nadeko into this person. Kiwi's just having a seizure over there. Her mouth is foaming.
I just believe in your sense of duty. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck this
sure,
guy.
dude. I enjoy this Nadeko a lot more.
Gangster Nanako.
Maybe I should do that as well.
You
don't
told me
have
a story
snake
of you.
possessing you.
You told me a story of you doing this, actually.
Eh,
Yes, you remember now? When you told
Yes,
me,
I
when you
do.
shouted at all of your classmates? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
When you told me that story, I was thinking of this scene. I was like, holy shit, wait a minute.
Nanako just snaps.
But she's spitting straight facts, though.
Now, someone at my work had a mental breakdown the other day.
Oh, God.
He was screaming in the lobby and they had him taken away. And then he came back the next day at the gate. He was trying to get them to let him in. And then he was screaming and tried to jump the gate. And he came back a second time and the police
God.
arrested him.
Oh, shit. Maybe a snake was possessing him.
Maybe. Or a rat.
Just love the backgrounds for whenever Nautico's narrating.
Mm-hmm. He said what was on her mind.
Yep. So it wasn't the snake. It was just Nautico actually being Nautico.
She just inherited his mannerisms.
Yeah. You haven't even reached Otorimonogatari yet. Let's not talk about endings just yet. I wonder why they all look like Hanako.
I would definitely do this.
The Ouroboros.
Oh, wasn't that the talisman that we saw on the shrine during the Hachikuji's arc?
I don't remember things that specifically.
I can't even confirm whether it's the exact same pattern, but I know that it's a talisman. Oh shit!
Oopsies.
Oh yeah. Before I forget, I love this ED. EDs are better than OPs. Yeah. Did I tell you that I love this ED? Oh yeah, I already did. Cool. Right.
It's kind of funny if they're using the Ouroboros to represent Nadeko, which I don't know if they are or not, but then that conversation between Nadeko and Tsukihi is even more fun because then it would be Ouroboros and Phoenix, which are actually very similar concepts.
So that's what you were typing. Yes.
Don't listen to my typing. I just wanted to confirm because I haven't read about Ouroboros in a while.
Yeah.
I think Ouroboros is more destructive generally than Phoenix is. But
yeah.
Well, this was another episode of Kiwi's Life 101.
I did say last time that this arc is basically just an imitation of your life. And yeah, I do very clearly remember you telling me a particular story of you just shouting at your classmates after they sort of like, made fun of you.
But I wasn't as aggressive as Nadeko was.
You didn't channel your inner delinquent?
No,
Yeah.
I was stuttering much more. I was stuttering much more, looking down and just being like screaming my emotions because they pulled me past my tipping point.
You just have to channel your inner Mondo more.
I think they were I think they were making fun of my tics or my accent or something. So
no,
I
they were
just
making fun of your
snapped at them.
tics.
I was there, I know.
Well, I remember the details of Kiwi's story. So, if Kiwi was telling me was being a reliable narrator, then yeah, it was because they made fun of her tics. Of course, I can't trust Kiwi fully on this, but this is just working off the information that I know.
I mean, if I would, that was during the time where my tics were like actually really, really bad, right?
Yeah.
During quarantine, they were like bad. I couldn't make a sentence without having a tic pop in, right? When I went to school, it was like 2-3 sentences without a tic, and then they would be like one big one.
Yeah.
And that was still during the time where whistling was like a really big tic for me. So basically, what the boys in my class would do is that, especially during math, where I get really frustrated, I would start whistling, clapping, making weird sounds, and they would repeat it after me, right? And so it came to the point where I was so embarrassed and done with the shit that they were doing that I was just like, will you please stop? But instead of saying it how I said it right now, it was like, will you please stop?
I'll put more emotion into it, Kiwi. You got this.
I can't yell.
Well, that explains why she was not able to yell as loudly as Nadeko did. Oh, man. I just freaking love that scene of Nadeko actually releasing herself, being Nadeko, and saying what was exactly on her mind this entire time.
I wish I could do that. Because someone comes to me like, oh, if someone I'm like close to, Kiwi, can you do this? And I'm like, oh, why are you coming to me? Why are you giving your job to me? I know you're fucking maid. Why are you like this? But I just put my head down and agreed to do it anyways.
Let's just say that Nadeko has kind of reached a tipping point, as you will. There's a lot of things going on with her right now.
Yeah, I will reach a tipping point at a certain point as well because I keep on getting called out.
Well,
I get called out by an anime I'm watching. I get called out by you. I get called out by Serbi. Right? I'll reach a tipping point at a certain point.
We haven't reached the climax of your character arc just yet, Kiwi. This is just the beginning, actually. So, first off, of course, we get the scene between Tsukihi and Nadeko, where Tsukihi is kind of just, talking with Nadeko, trying to understand her, what she's thinking, asking questions that Nadeko only can apologize to. And so Tsukihi does what Tsukihi does best, and she lives her best life. I feel
I was thinking during this scene why I like Tsukihi and Nadeko specifically. And I think that in my mind, I would like to be someone more like Tsukihi, who is able to push someone to be completely honest and her being honest herself, right?
Yeah.
Like a really pushy person. And Nadeko is someone who I am currently, right?
But you were saying
I'm trying desperately
that you wish you were like Tsukihi.
Yeah, I remember
that I'm desperately wishing to like myself, so that's why I like Nadeko. And Tsukihi is someone I wish to be, so that's why I like Tsukihi. And so basically, I was in conflict throughout the whole scene here because I like both of them, but the scene made me really uncomfortable.
It's like the person who you want to be is grilling the person who you are right now, so it just makes you doubly uncomfortable with what's happening. I can understand it from your point of view here. Tsukihi, she's literally a phoenix. So she's kind of the expert at living because she's an immortal being. So she sees that Nadeko is having troubles here. Because obviously Tsukihi knows that Nadeko is in love with her older brother, which we saw as an example back at I believe the start of Nisei. Where Koyomi went over to Nadeko's house and she was wearing all that skimpy clothes and whatnot. She knows that he has a girlfriend, but she's also still trying to seduce him, but also kind of not. It's kind of weird, but I do find it understandable from Nadeko's point of view, where she feels like being in love with someone that is, as she says, unobtainable as the stars. There's a sense of comfort in that. What do you feel about that?
You're asking me or Serbi?
I'm asking both of you. I mean, you're both reacting with me, and I can't say anything because I know the answer, obviously, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, so I don't copy Serbi's answer, I'll go first. So, for me, it's kind of like I've never really been in love like she is, so I can't really understand her idea behind it. Because I personally would not be changing clothes to impress someone who I like. But I don't know if that's like, that's true because I've never actually been in love with someone, right? Logically, it makes sense. Feelings-wise, I don't understand it.
Yeah, you don't understand it because you have never had this personal experience before. Which, yeah,
it's like
I understand.
It's like how people say that they like smelling someone that they like, which I will never understand. That sounds incredibly disgusting, to me at least. So, yeah, I've never had an experience like it, so I can't comment on it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
What about you, Serbi?
That's a hard one for me. Like. So I'm kind of on the ace spectrum, so I don't really feel sexual attraction to people very easily.
Yeah.
So things like crushes and feelings like Nadeko has, I just don't really understand very well. So I don't know that I really have a good comment on that one.
Okay. I understand. We're all just legit weebs here. Damn, this is probably the wrong subject to be talking about with us.
Okay. Repeat the question so I can try theorize about it from logically what I've learned from being in society for 20 years.
I'll try to phrase the question as clearly as possible then. What do you think of how Nadeko views being in love with Araragi, someone who she views as being unobtainable as the stars, with that situation being comfortable for her? No, she doesn't want to actually be in a relationship with him because it's tiring. She would rather keep on this hopeless love that she'll never obtain because it's comforting.
Okay, for me, this would be kind of like a bad comparison, but I'm going to use it anyway. You know how there are a lot of people who really like VTubers to the point where it becomes love, but they don't become problematic with it. They just love them for the sake of loving them and for the sake of having comfort in the idea of loving something. I feel like it's kind of like the thing of being lonely and you searching for something or someone to attach yourself onto, to have a reason, like to, I don't know, I won't say reason to live, but like reason to talk about it or say something. So she attached herself to something that she would probably, she knows that she would probably not end up dating, but maybe she feels less lonely with the idea that she is in love with someone, and because she is in love with this person and this person gives her some kind of attention, she doesn't feel like as left out or lonely as she would if she had nothing like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's like a sense of stability in that she knows that she should and have like a relationship, and so feeling connected to Araragi and liking Araragi kind of fills that quota for her as like a normal person, I guess, but doesn't have the effort of actually having to chase after because she knows it's kind of a pointless endeavor.
Yeah, like how Tsukihi says that she also has a reason to reject all of the boys that confess to her. Like, it gives her a reason to like him, like a consequence of liking him. but also she doesn't feel like she doesn't have a reason because she likes it. I don't know. I think I'm losing sense in sense.
That's just par for the course for you, Kiwi. It's fine. Yeah, I understand what you were trying to say. And yeah, I also agree that there's a sense of comfort in that. She doesn't have to deal with any of the boys who are like trying to gain her affection because she can just say, yeah, I'm already in love with someone else, you know? That's an easy way to reject people without having to cause some sort of conflict by making up some sort of excuse when she could obviously have this really good prepared excuse that anybody would accept, right?
She should just get a wedding ring and put it on her ring finger.
Be a bold move
that
from middle
is,
school.
I know, right? Like, yeah, that would work.
I think
for
that
like
would attract more attention than
from the teachers and the faculty and the parents. But yeah, Tsukihi is probably the most perfect character to kind of bring this out of Nadeko. And she does something a bit extreme here. However, it does get results. When she just randomly cuts off Nadeko's bangs. And as you see Nadeko's bangs falling off, you can see that they are old friends to her. I believe that's what the text was written as.
Yeah, basically she's going to try and change now that she doesn't have bangs anymore.
Well, it took away her ability to hide, I guess.
Shield. It took away her shield.
Yeah. They were something that she used to cover up her eyes in order to make an excuse to avoid talking with people. So much so to the point where her own teacher has never even seen her face before because she always hides behind her bangs.
Yeah, okay. I have something that I'm proud of to say, right? I also had bangs up until recently, which I would also use to kind of hide my face, especially my forehead, because someone in the past told me that I have a big forehead, so I would use bangs to hide it. That's the logical excuse that I would use, but yeah, it was also to hide my eyes and face. But recently, I have felt kind of comfortable with the idea of not hiding my eyes because it feels like I'm more open towards people. So basically, the new haircut that I got is very short and it completely exposes my face. I'm not the happiest with it. It makes me uncomfortable. But it's the idea that I had, like, oh, wait, maybe I should show my face more. Yeah. So I also lost my old friends recently.
Something interesting happens right there, though. We learned that she just completely forgets everything that happens an hour after her bangs got cut. She just doesn't remember anything that happens after that. Nadeko, being the reliable narrator that she is just kind of suspect. I don't know.
I would also forget if I was pushed into change like that.
Isn't that the only way you change?
Ooh.
I didn't. I made a gradual change into changing. Nadeko was pushed into it by Tsukihi.
We immediately see the effects of her bangs getting cut off here. When she can't run away from the problem anymore, she has to face it. And I guess you could say that the cutting of her hair is also kind of symbolic, where all of the walls get broken down around her and you get to actually see who Nadeko really is. And all this pent-up rage that's built inside her. Everything that she wants to say to everybody for making her do all this bullshit, for gaslighting her and putting all their responsibilities on her. Now she just lets it all
gangster.
out.
I feel like all introverted short people are like Nadeko and me, where
I don't think so.
We'll agree to everything and then snap at a certain point and become really mean.
That's a really weirdly specific statement. I don't think so.
My friend is shorter than me, and everyone in class says that she's aggressive because she's short, and she agrees with it. And then you have me. No, I wouldn't call myself aggressive, but yeah.
I wouldn't call myself aggressive. It's something someone who is aggressive would say.
I have not killed anyone yet. Almost.
You have been banned
yet.
from manga websites. Leaving aggressive comments.
No, I didn't
Very
leave
aggressive comments.
I didn't leave
Exactly.
aggressive comments.
You are the harshest commenter I have ever met.
This is true.
Not.
I watched you do it live once. I'm just sitting here going, oh my god, how can you say this to some stranger on the internet?
I don't even remember what I did.
Well, you came back the next day and you said, yeah, I shouldn't have wrote that.
You don't even remember what you did. Wow, that reminds me of someone. It turns out that the fucking Kuchinawa's vessel is hidden inside of one of Araragi's born mags. How in the world has it come to this? Why did it end up here?
I expect
his body was getting warmed in more than one way.
Here we get Nadeko's final wish, her true wish, one thing that she has been hoping for all this time. I want my feelings for Koyomi Oni-chan to be mutual. And then lo and behold, Mr. Araragi himself comes in at the perfect moment to hear this and catch her. Do you really think that this is a coincidence? Or what happens from here? Any theories as to what's going to go down next episode after this cliffhanger?
Wait, should I do it or should Serbi do it? Because I have a perfectly sound idea what's going on.
I do too. I think Nadeko's going to make a love potion, and she's going to give it to Araragi, and then Senju is going to get pissed off, and hijinks ensue.
Hijinks ensue. That is like the perfect end to a synopsis for a rom-com. How many times have I seen hijinks ensues at the end of a description? All right. Well,
that's my theory.
That kind of doesn't really explain the intro, but okay.
I mean, that can be the conclusion when the love potion wears off and Araragi's pissed.
And then he gets fucking stabbed by Nadeko and dies. Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Kiwi?
Yeah. For me, okay. So, Medusa is kind of love thing, right? In the mythology, I have to search it up actually.
Well, whenever anyone
that's not the crux of her, but I think she did have.
So basically,
I don't remember.
So basically, Nadeko over here thinks that it will probably end up how do I say this so that it can be short, sweet, and make sense. I basically think that she's going to do what she has done so far, which is decide to avoid the rejection and run away from it. And since her wish cannot be fulfilled, because Araragi now knows about her feelings and everything, she will try to find a way to basically change it in a way where she's going to end up being what she is because she got rejected and couldn't accept the rejection. Maybe the way that she's going to try to fulfill her wish on her own is by being a Medusa or turning Araragi to stone or something. I am not 100% sure. I'm not 100% confident about it. I'm just 100% confident she's going to probably run away. And the fight that we saw at the very beginning is basically her kind of accepting the rejection but not going with the idea of rejection. So she decides, since I can have him, no one can have him, and killing him.
I can see where you're coming from. It still doesn't really explain how she has, of course, the snake hair. And
that's probably going to be her wish.
If you want a little bit of general Medusa background, she was a beautiful woman. She had sex in Minerva/Athena's temple, and obviously that pissed them off, so Minerva punished Medusa by transforming her hair into snakes. So there is a romance, kind of.
You did mention something interesting about the interaction between the Ouroboros and the Phoenix. Can you explain more on that?
So the Ouroboros, which is represented as a snake eating its own tail, it's a symbol meant to represent eternity, and along with kind of the rebirth cycle of destruction and rebirth, right?
Yeah.
Which is really similar to Phoenix's whole mythos of death and rebirth. Ouroboros is generally more destructive, and that's
Ouroboros
symbolized in the fact that he is literally eating his own tail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would, if I were to just kind of loosely compare the two, I would say Ouroboros is like the more unstable version of the phoenix. Yeah, they're mythology-wise and what they represent, they're very similar. We just saw the symbol at the end there on the talisman, but Nadeko's always been snake-related. And Ouroboros is probably one of the most famous snakes, I guess, in mythology.
That's brings up the interesting comparison that we had where Kiwi feels like Nadeko is a representation of her and in this current moment, and Tsukihi is a representation of someone who she wants to be like. And, you know, the Ouroboros being kind of like the more destructive version of the phoenix kind of feels like, you know, maybe the Ouroboros wanting to be less self-destructive wants to be more like the phoenix and just be reborn.
I think Ouroboros is also tied to like alchemy and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know that connection all that well.
There was actually a lot of things that I didn't notice during my many rewatches, but yeah, I just once again love this episode of how Nadeko just actually becomes a really interesting character. Someone who's just not a shy, quiet girl in the background. Someone who actually is able to act out her own will, I suppose. She really wanted to say this and she finally got it out. I love this version of Nadeko, even if it might not be the best for her. I don't know. I just gotta want to see more of these kind of characters in shows. But hey, what can you do? Right. Next episode is the finale, actually, of Otorimonogatari. So we'll see how it ends, or actually, we'll see how we reach that end that we saw in the beginning.
Yeah.
By the beginning of the next episode, I'll try to kind of write myself some notes on like what happened in this episode and maybe what theory I can make so it sounds more confident and more like makes more sense, right? Yeah. Because even though I'm kind of confident about the theory that I made, I still think it's kind of incorrect, so I'll have to look into it more.
While you're looking into that, I'll give you some food for thought. I'm only going to say this very vaguely, but there is one very huge theory that is going completely unnoticed at the moment, and I didn't mention anything about it at all. I'm not going to mention anything here either. I'm just saying that there's an elephant in the room that we're not even looking at. So, with that piece of knowledge, I'll leave you guys to your own theorizing, and then we'll meet up again next week.
How could you refer to Ogi like that?
Yes, Ogi. Really, really fat like an elephant. Anyways. If you guys made it to this part of the discussion, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all in next week's episode. Later, dudes.
Bye-bye.
Nadeko says bye. Degenerates. Suck cock. That wasn't a tick.